tell anybody that this the tools that you need to use, maybe Python, maybe. So if you like Python and you think that you are good to the extent that you can use it, you can use it. If you think that Excel will be the best option, you can use it using all those pivot table, because pivot table can also work with some large data to some extent. So, and if SQL is your interest, you can also pick SQL. And if what is it called, so if Power BI is your interest, you may use it. So it will just be like you are free to use anything you like. So just the main goal is performing an analysis and you being able to share the results. So I care less about the tools that you use. Just for me to teach everything, then you now pick the one you are comfortable with, or probably talk to your teammates and see the one that you. And it don't just let the project to be based on don't let the project to be based on probably, okay, the one that abi how can I put it, like don't let the project be based on maybe the one that is easier. Okay, it can be easy, like anyone you are comfortable with, but make the project a learning journey for you. If you pick Python, go ahead to learn more about Python even beyond what I've explained. And even if it's Excel that you are using, try to probably check YouTube, check other things that you think that will assist you while working on it. So make it a learning journey, and so that you are going to learn more wider than what I've actually explained. So in our previous classes. So let me just start by showing. I believe everybody can see my screen. So let me start by explain. Okay, this what we call GitHub. This is my own GitHub account. So the more you contribute, they give you some achievements here. So the more you write code, and these are just like some of the projects I've worked on. This like a just like a brief introduction. I've not really tried to write this well. So, and the more you, I've been too lazy these days. I've not really been committing to my GitHub account. So the more you commit, this is you see 4 contribution on Saturday, 4 contribution, 3 contribution, 5 contribution. So these are no contribution, and this is 4 contribution, 5. So these are just like a tracking that will always track your performance while you are working on a particular project. The more you you works on this, the more you showcase your project on GitHub. So this is called repository. So you can see that this is just the overview. Like if you share a link to your account to anyone, this is what the person is going to see. So you can see, I think I have 21 followers. I'm following 21 also. So these are some of my projects. This is what we call repository. And this, I'm going to show us how we can create our own, then try to put maybe like a project in it. Then this is called the package. Then probably you've earned a star. Then this is a project. Maybe you want to create an open source project. So there's a way some create an open source project that you can anybody can contribute to. Then you can also contribute to a an open source project. So let me start by let me just say GitHub. So let's just, okay, let me cancel this. So let me say on Google you can just say GitHub sign up. So once you search for this, it's going to bring something like this: join GitHub. So once you click on this, so because this is my own account, that's and my account has been so that's why it's just showing. Okay, you can see now, register now. Oh, these are not meant for signing up. So what I just, if on your own laptop, just because you are not a GitHub user before, it's not going to display something like this. It's just because I've been using it, that's why it brought something like this. So when you search for GitHub sign up, it's going to bring just like a place where you can either sign in or sign up. So sign in is like for people that have signed up before. So you just input your details, just like the one you've used when you sign up, so just to sign in. And also, if you've not signed up before, it's going to ask you to sign up. Then you are going to input your email, I think your email, your number. It's going to ask you what you should, but it's not something difficult. So input your email, maybe your name, your first name, what your username need to be. So once you input them, you just click sign up. It can authorize your device, maybe like through your email or through your number, by sending a token code that you need to input in that space. So after doing that, it's going to show just like an empty account. Then just like this my own. So when you sign up, it will ask you probably your name. The name you use will be here. This my name, and the username is this, which is Abayomi Abiodun. And I will also advise us, anytime you are signing up, use your name, use your real name, because in case somebody want to check for you online, it will be able, because some do use probably another name like. But I to me, although that's what I started with too, and somebody corrected me that I should change it to my real name. So you can, your name, you can put it your real name, then your username also. So you after doing that, you can also edit this profile by clicking on this edit. And when it come, it's not going to show all this, but it's just going to show an empty account. So after that, after creating it, if you want to put any project, probably you are working on a project, you want to showcase it on GitHub, what you will do when, after logging in, after when you sign up, then you need to log in. After logging in, you click on this. After showing you, maybe you should upload a picture, you upload it. Then after that, you can click on this. So anytime you want to import, and this is into, okay, anytime you want to showcase any of your project on GitHub, so you see this plus sign after you're signing up and you've logged in. So you just come here, check this upside, you see this plus, then click on this plus. It's going to show you new repository, import repository, new code base, new gist, new organization, and new project. So if you are working for a new organization, you can easily click on this. And for a new repository means that you are working on a new project, or probably you want to put a new project on your GitHub account. So once you click on new repository, so you put the name of that particular project. If you are working on a data analysis project, maybe it's sales for chips, or probably sales for this particular product, you can put the names of the project. You just put it here, you type it here. So after typing that here, you can put the description if you wish, but it's optional. So you can initially, normally, or automatically, this public, GitHub will always put any project you are working on public. And it is because public is free. So public is free, anyone on the internet can see this project. So just like my own project now, is only one of my project that is private, so that I don't want people to see. So even if you come to my GitHub account, you cannot see that particular project. So we are working on it for some things. So you can put, like, it's going to automatically put your project in public, that is anybody can see it. But if you choose private, you are going to be charged. So it's going to ask for billing or something. So you need to pay for it if you put it in private. So it's just once you don't have money you want to. So hello, so do you want to ask question?
Okay, I wanted to ask, yes, I wanted to ask, is it advisable to load clients and projects on public? I don't know. Is it
Okay,
advisable to put it on
okay,
public?
okay, this is it. I cannot say it's not really advisable. Just like me now, anytime I works on a project, just like gig, I receive projects from people. I don't put it on my GitHub, because even if you are working for an organization, most organization will put their project in private, and just because they can pay for it, that's why they always, if you are working for an organization, the project repository will always be private. So they don't want people to see. It's only if the project is open source. So if you are working for someone, especially now, I've worked, like, I help one person in United States, like his master project. So I was the one, he reached out to me to help him to write some machine learning, develop some machine learning algorithm, because just like AI models on some certain things sha. So I, after working on that project, if I upload it on my GitHub, they can want to even check online to verify, probably copy the code somewhere else. So if I put it on my GitHub, definitely it's going to implicate the person, because they may want the person to reference that particular project just because they've seen it on my own GitHub account. So it's just always good for you not to upload somebody project. Is only if you ask for permission from the person. And but I believe, especially in terms of data, as a data person, I don't think nobody will allow you to just put his project on. I don't know sha, but based on my own experience, I don't think anybody that you worked on something for will make, because once you put it on your GitHub and it's public, anybody can search for it on internet, and it will be directed to your GitHub account, and anybody can easily copy it. Anybody can steal any code. So it just be like a mess up for the person that paid you, or the person trying to. So what you can only do is put it somewhere else. Probably you want to get another job, you can just give it a link to that particular person to see what you've done, or probably write an article about it. But I don't even think writing an article about it really makes sense, because it's just like you are exposing the person project. So what I can just say is not advisable. It's only if you ask for the person permission and the person give you go ahead. Hope I answer that.
Yes, yes, you did. Thank you.
You're welcome. So you just have to put a name here, the name of the repository, that is the names of the project. And as I explained, if it's in public, that shows anybody can see what you've done. So if it is in private, nobody will see it except the people that you give a permission to see what you are working on. Let me just use, okay, ijan data analysis. Okay, let me just do that. I'm going to delete the repo later. So as I said, if you put it private, you need to pay. If you put it in public, anybody can see it. Then this readme, it works in two places. Readme is just like, okay, a brief overview or instruction to your code, because there are some code that anybody cannot run unless they got some instruction. from you on how they can go about using the code and the like. So in this readme, that's where we explain, okay, if it is a code that they need to install some dependencies, especially when you start deploying your model, your machine learning models in a web app or in any framework. So readme, you can tell them, okay, these are the dependencies, these are the libraries that you need to import. If they are not readily available, this is what maybe pip install or conda install. So readme is just like giving the overview of what is going on your project and how they can use it. So here, add.git ignore. So this git ignores, just like all these ones, dey work best with software engineering and also as a data scientist that want to deploy a model in any web app frameworks. So git ignore is just like, okay, now there is one time I works on text translation. That is, when you input a text, the model will change. Okay, now if you write something in English, you can translate it to Spanish, German, French. You can translate the text to different kind of languages. So at that project, there is one token code that I have to take from Microsoft Azure for it, because I deploy the web app on Microsoft Azure cloud platform. So there is one token code that was there, that when I want to push it to GitHub, or when I want to upload it to GitHub, it must not be there, because it's just like database, a password to a database. Now when a backend developer is developing some API with SQL command, so most of the time there is a password to the, or probably how they link the database with the API. So when they when they develop it and they want to send the code to GitHub, if you send that particular code or how you link it to GitHub, an hacker can check and look on how it's going to penetrate through the database. So at that particular time, one need to be very careful. So there are some things in your code that are not meant to be pushed to GitHub. So that's what .git ignored, that's what it means. So on in this file, you create a file for .git ignore. So in that .git ignore, you are going to put everything that to you don't want to push, or you don't want to upload to your GitHub account. So once those things are inside that .git ignore file, they are not going to go with your code. So they are going to remain on your laptop, but they will not be on your GitHub. So that's just anything that you don't want to move to GitHub, you put them in .git ignore file. So that's just what it means. Then license, if you need any line, if you want to put any license, you can uh you can you can pick anyone. And also here also, this .git ignore template, you can pick what you are trying to do. Probably if you are working with Python now, you may pick Python here. So you see that it show me Python, and I can easily click on it. So if it is 100, so you see that here, if probably I want to develop an 100 app, if I click on it, it's going to work. So here I want to work on Python file, so I can click OK now. So and let me create the repository. So I'm waiting for it to load. So I think it has load now. So this particular repository, this, and I created it on main branch. So I can upload my code or my project through two means. Is either I upload it or I add it through writing of command. So writing of command can be done uh using terminal. Let me show us terminal. Okay, we call it terminal with Mac, then we call it command prompt with window. So you can just search for command prompt and you will see it, but on Mac we call it, although that's what it means too, it's also called terminal, but it's just that we commonly call it command prompt on window, then terminal just as usual with Mac. So let me show us how it look like. This is just like a terminal here. So I can write something on this terminal to push my code from my laptop to, so I can do anything here. I can send my code from this. I can just navigate to where the code is, then push it to GitHub. So without any stress. Then also I can upload it from my file, from my uh from any folder it is on my laptop. So I'm thinking maybe I should just, okay, let me first do this. So I can upload the file. So here it's going to show me that drag the file. So I can click on this. So now I can just, is either you drag it, or if I click on it, the only thing that will happen is it's going to only upload the file inside the folder, but if you drag it, it's going to upload everything inside that particular folder. So now let me just, I'm going to drag it. I'm going to, you can just click on it and just move it here. So this is it. So once you just click on it and drag it, it's going to, you can see now that it's already uploading 1 out of 5. So now everything has finished uploading. So after that you can write, like just adding a file. You can just say okay, you can just say uh, let me just say add file, yeah, upload. So then I can just click on commit change. So you can see now that I said add file for pair upload. So that's just what is there. So if I click on this particular folder now, it's going to It's going to display what I just uploaded now. So this is just what I just uploaded now. So you can easily share it with people and they can click on it and see what you've done. So I believe this aspect we understand it. Then if I click on, okay, let me click on readme. So this just like a place to write readme. So is I just want to write something. Install. I just want to show us how. So let me just stop at this side and let me just commit my changes. So this is just what I just, you see now that before these are not there. So IJAN data analysis project, the project is focused on the analysis of sales data, then dependencies, pip installed pandas, pip installed numpy. So these are just like the dependencies. Although this shouldn't have been in a straight line, I think I made a mistake in writing those commands. So it should have been in each line. So just that's just how to write a readme file. Then you can try to write more about the project, the way they can run the code, what the code means. So you can even explain some of the processes you follow while working on it. So that's just through uh uploading of code. Then okay, let me ask this before I proceed. So do we understand the one I just explained? And I don't want it to pass maybe by 8 so that I can start the SQL class. Do we understand this part? Hello? Are we on the same page? Nobody is responding to my. Do we understand what I just explained now?
Yeah, I think I missed one step. But you are going to send us the video of this class, right?
Yes, I actually I recorded
All
this.
right, all right, that's fine.
Okay.
We'll practice it again. All right, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So now this is just like a step to upload a code on a GitHub. So I want to show us another thing. Okay, don't let me even create a repo. So I want to show us how we can write a terminal code, a terminal command to push it to GitHub. So let me just call it Python project. So let me teach, okay, Python. Then you may choose license and you may not. Does not. And note that here I did not click on readme. So there's a reason why I did not click on readme. So now it's going to show something. I'm waiting for it to load. Okay. So let me do this before explaining that. So let me just do this. So now I want to clone this particular, like, probably you see a project on somebody repository and you really want to work on that particular project, or probably for learning, or you just come across a project on GitHub and you feel like you want to practice it also, or have that particular project on your laptop. This is what you do. You open your command, you can search for your command prompt. Here I'll be working with terminal, but also it's the same as command prompt. So where's my terminal? So I'm looking on, okay, this is my terminal here. So on window, just click on command prompt. So when you click on command prompt, so I'm just waiting for it to display what I want. Okay, now it has loaded. So after loading now, you see that this one show user MacBook Pro, then MacBook Pro. But on window it can show user, and probably it just stopped at that user. So the first thing to do is I want to create a folder where my project will be. So how can I do it? And on my laptop, or probably on window laptop or Mac laptop, we always have desktop, we always have documents, and we also have download folder. So these three folder, your project, you can create a folder inside these three particular folder, either on your desktop, your document, and your download. So how can you know that opening it, maybe probably it shows users on your side. So showing users, that shows that you are not on any of those folder already. So the first thing to do is move into the folder, probably the document folder, the desktop folder, or the download folder. How can you do that? You do that by using cd, then you write, maybe now I want to work with desktop, so I'm going to write desktop. So I'm going to write cd, then desktop. So now what I'm doing now, I've moved from the general laptop to desktop now. So now you can see here that here we just saw user MacBook Pro, then MacBook Pro, but now it has shows user MacBook Pro, then desktop MacBook Pro. But on your own laptop, it's going to show, if you are using window, it's just going to show after user, it's going to show desktop. So that's like working on the command prompt. So after moving to that particular desktop folder, I'm now going to do mkdir mkdir, that is make a like I want to create another folder, then put the name of the folder to be ijan. So I will call it ijan, then I click ok, make mkdir ijan, then I will now use cd, then ijan. So cd ijan. So if I click ok now, my I'm now in a ijan folder. So let me see my desktop and see the progress of what I've done. So now you can see now that this is the folder I created. So if I click on it now, it's empty, there is nothing inside it. So you see now that what I did by using cd, desktop, then mkdir ijan, so now I've created a folder here which is ijan and it's empty. Let me go back to my terminal. So now this is my terminal. So where is it again? So after that, I will now do something. I want to clone a repo, that is one of these repo, probably you see a probably you see okay, now let me just say this Python fundamental is your interest on GitHub and you want to get it on your laptop. Probably you saw it on one person's repo, or probably I upload something on my GitHub and I want you to use it. So instead of you copying those code, this is what you do. So now I want to clone this particular repo. Now I want to clone this particular repo. I want to clone this particular repo. So is either you click on here on code. Okay, somebody want to ask question, right? This application is called, I cannot, okay, let me click on it so that I can read what is there, because I cannot really see it well. So, I don't know why it's, or is it because I've opened a lot of application.
Okay, she's asking if this process is applicable to OS, operating system.
Okay, 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 okay. OS is just like, okay, OS is like, or just abi, how can I even explain that? Like we have different kind of OS. We have Windows, we have Linux, then we have Mac. All of them, if you want to clone a repo, you we do it the same way. It's only if you are allowed to download that particular code, but most of the time you may not be allowed to download it, because there is a way you can download it at times. If it shows the options of downloading, you can actually download it. Okay, I miss window. Oh, okay, okay, as well. So you can do it on window. You just use command prompt. So the way I'm using my terminal, you'll be using your own command prompt. It's just the same thing. Just repeat the same command, it's going to work. So you can use window OS. Everything like is the same. Just like the way I'm using terminal, you'll be using your own command prompt. You can just search for command prompt on that window search bar or search button. So once you search for it, it's going to show you, just write cmd or probably command prompt, so it's going to bring it out. And if you follow what I did, it's going to work the same way. So let me go back to that. Where's the terminal? So now we've cd into that ijan, and if I click on this now, and let me click on, so now you will see that, okay, you see that in this once I click on this code now, it gave like different option here. So the one I'm trying to explain, if I click on this copy, okay, let me start from this, clicking on this copy. I've copied this now just because I click on this. What you will see, something like this code anytime you go to anybody repository or anybody project. So you just click on copy, then come back to what we are doing here. So I will just said git clone, then I will click, I will just press enter after calling git clone. So now it has performed some particular operation, that's why we are seeing all this. So once I can just, so now I will go to my ijan folder, then double click on ijan folder. So you see now that inside my ijan folder I can see python fundamental. So if I click on python fundamental, I can see all the python file on that particular repository. It has bring those file to my laptop. So that's just a simple way of getting those things done. And also let me explain another side. So me using this particular copying of this, I'm able to clone it to my laptop. That is, probably you come across a code or a project you want to practice, or you just want to see how it's been done. You can bring that particular project from the cloud to your laptop. So, oh, sorry for this. So you can do that by, once you copy it, it's going to bring it down. Then also on your window lap, if you are using window laptop, you can download GitHub desktop. GitHub desktop is is just like an application, just like Anaconda. You can download a GitHub desktop. So once you click on this, it's going to open this particular code in that your GitHub desktop software. Or if that is not an option that best suits you, you can click on this download zip. So if you download this zip, it will just be like in a zip folder where you unzip it and you are going to see everything. I think this third option is the easiest, because you just download the zip folder and it's going to come down to your laptop. So I don't think that one is more difficult, but it's just good to know how to clone with command. And especially if you're a type that you don't want to be uploading your code, you want to be sending it through terminal, you have to learn some terminal command, just like the way we did it here, just like the way we did something like this. So I think we learned one or two things in this GitHub section. So what are we I think once we watch the video and try to practice, and also we tend to learn more and more and more. So now I want to close this section and try to change from this laptop to a window, so that I can explain how we can work, like going like now I want to start explaining SQL. So how we can create tables and try to manipulate some things using SQL command. So I'm going to save this, and so that we can use it, we can rewatch it later.